Welcome to the Explainer. You know, we all step on that scale and see a number, right? But have you ever stopped to wonder what that number is really telling you? Well, today, we're going way beyond just weight to uncover the hidden story of what your body is actually made of.
So, here's the game plan. First, we'll talk about why that number on the scale isn't the whole picture. Then, we'll dive into the pretty cool physics of how this all works. After that, we'll figure out how to decode all that data, see where it's making a real difference, and finally, wrap up with the super important rules for getting it right.
You know, stepping on the scale gives you your total body mass. And that's fine, but it's just one little piece of a much, much bigger and way more interesting puzzle about your actual health.
So, when we talk about body composition, what are we even talking about? It's not just about how much you weigh, it's about the quality of that weight. What is it made of?
Think of it like this. Body composition breaks your total weight down into two main categories. You've got your fat mass, and then you've got your fat-free mass. And that fat-free mass is basically everything else: your muscles, your bones, your organs, and all the water in your body.
And why does this split matter so much? Well, because understanding that balance is absolutely vital. It helps us track things like age-related muscle loss, that's called sarcopenia. It helps manage major health risks like obesity. And for athletes, it is a total game changer for optimizing performance.
For the longest time, measuring this stuff was a huge pain. You had to go to a special lab with expensive, clunky equipment like DXA scanners. But now, we have something called BIA, Bioelectrical Impedance Analysis. It's portable, it's safe, it's affordable, and it makes this kind of deep analysis available to pretty much everyone.
Okay, so how on earth does a little device see inside your body? It sounds kind of like science fiction, I know, but it all comes down to some basic physics and how your body reacts to a teeny tiny and completely safe electrical current.
So BIA works by measuring something called impedance. You can just think of impedance as the total roadblock your body puts up when that tiny electrical signal tries to pass through. But here's the cool part. That roadblock isn't just one thing. It's actually made of two very different parts.
First up, you've got resistance. This basically tells us how much water is in your tissues. Muscle is full of water, so the current zips right through, low resistance. Fat, on the other hand, doesn't have much water, so it has high resistance. Then you have reactance, and this is where it gets fascinating. This measures the health of your actual cells. Healthy cell membranes can hold a tiny electrical charge for a split second, kind of like a little battery. That's reactance.
The tech gets even smarter too because it uses different frequencies. A low-frequency current isn't strong enough to get inside your cells, so it has to flow around them. That lets us measure the water that's outside your cells. But a high-frequency current can pass right through the cell walls, giving us a picture of all the water in your body, inside and out.
And here you can see exactly what's happening. The low-frequency signal has to take the scenic route around your cells, while the high-frequency signal just punches right through. This simple difference is the key to getting such incredibly detailed measurements.
Okay, so we've sent a current through the body, we've got these raw numbers, resistance and reactance, but so what? How do we turn those numbers into something useful, something that actually tells us about our health?
Well, the old way was to plug these numbers into prediction formulas. The problem was, these formulas made a huge and often wrong assumption that everyone's muscles are hydrated to exactly the same level. The new way is much smarter. It looks at the raw data directly, which gives us a much more accurate and personal picture no matter what your hydration level is. And from that raw data, we can calculate something incredible called the phase angle. Now, this isn't just another number. Think of it as a report card for your cells. A higher phase angle literally means your cell membranes are healthier and more intact. It's a really powerful marker of your overall health.
Then there's BIVA. This takes our two data points, resistance and reactance, and plots them on a graph. What you get is a single arrow, a vector, that gives you a visual snapshot of your body's hydration and cellular mass, all compared to what's typical for a healthy person.
On this BIVA graph, it's all about the length of that arrow. It's super simple. A shorter vector means you have more fluid, so you're well hydrated. A longer vector means less fluid. You might be dehydrated. It's an incredibly clear visual way to see what's going on.
All right, this science is absolutely fascinating. But where is it actually being used? Where does it stop being theory and start making a real impact? Let's look at the worlds of elite sports and medicine. For athletes, BIA is nothing short of a revolution.
Coaches can track muscle mass with precision, make sure their players are perfectly hydrated for peak performance, and even monitor the tiny fluid shifts that can signal a developing injury or track recovery.
And in physical therapy, it gets even more targeted. Therapists can use what's called segmental BIA to zoom in and measure just an injured arm or just one leg. This lets them see how swelling is going down, track how a muscle is healing during rehab, and spot dangerous imbalances between limbs before they cause another injury.
Now, it's really important to remember that BIA is a serious scientific tool. It's not a magic box, and to get results you can actually trust, the entire process has to be strictly controlled.
And when I say controlled, I mean it. Following these steps is completely non-negotiable. You have to lie down for a few minutes to let your body fluids settle, no heavy exercise beforehand, no food or alcohol, and the placement of the electrodes has to be perfect. Every single one of these details matters. If you skip one, you can skew the results.
We also have to be honest about its limitations. It can be less consistent for people at the extreme ends of the BMI scale, but most importantly, its real power isn't in a single one-off measurement. It's at its best when you use it to track changes and trends in your body over time. It's about the journey.
But let's be crystal clear. When you do it right, when you follow the protocols to the letter, BIA and BIVA are unbelievably powerful tools. They give us deep, meaningful insights into what's really going on inside our bodies, empowering us to manage our health, boost our performance, and speed up recovery.
Ultimately, this technology pushes us far beyond just that one simple number on a scale. It makes us ask a much more profound question. Are we actually measuring what truly matters for our health, or are we just watching a number bounce up and down?